3 years ago, I couldn't order food at a restaurant. My hands would shake, my voice would crack, and I'd rehearse my order 10 times in my head before the waiter came over. Last week, I gave a presentation to 200 people and actually enjoyed it. I'm going to show you the exact system I used to go from avoiding phone calls to confidently handling any social situation. And here's the thing, I'm not special. I just finally understood what was actually happening in my brain and learned how to work with it instead of against it. Understanding what's really happening. Before we jump into strategies, you need to understand the anxiety cycle, because once you see it, you can break it. It works like this. You have a thought. Everyone will judge me at this party. That thought triggers physical symptoms, racing heart, sweating, nausea. Those symptoms feel dangerous, so you avoid the party. Avoiding gives you temporary relief, which teaches your brain that the threat was real. Next time, the anxiety comes back stronger. It's a loop, and every time you avoid something, you're actually training your brain to be more anxious. Now, your anxiety isn't a defect, it's an overactive alarm system trying to protect you from a threat that doesn't exist. The problem is, your brain can't tell the difference between a lion chasing you and someone judging your small talk. Both trigger the same fight or flight response. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to retrain that alarm system, step by step. The 6 core strategies. Strategy 1 is stop avoiding, but start smart. You've probably heard this before, but nobody tells you how to actually do it without sending yourself into a panic attack. Here's the method. Create an exposure ladder. Think of it like a video game where you don't fight the final boss on level 1. Rung 1 might be texting someone you trust. Rung 2, calling them. Rung 3, small talk with a cashier. Rung 4, joining a small group activity. Keep climbing. The key is something I call the 10-minute rule. Commit to staying in an uncomfortable situation for just 10 minutes. After that, you can leave. No judgment. What usually happens is your anxiety peaks around 7 to 10 minutes, then it drops. Your brain realizes nothing bad is happening and starts to calm down. If you're in that uncomfortable moment right now, try this. Find 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can physically feel, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This grounds you in reality instead of in your anxious thoughts. Strategy 2, cut the caffeine. I know, you love your coffee, but listen to this. Caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 6 hours. That means if you drink coffee at 2 p.m., half of that caffeine is still in your system at 8 p.m., keeping your nervous system fired up. Caffeine increases your stress hormone, cortisol, by 30% for up to 3 hours after you drink it. If you already have anxiety, you're basically throwing gasoline on a fire. Here's how to quit without the horrible withdrawal headaches. Week 1, cut your intake by 25%. If you have 4 cups, go to 3. Week 2, cut to 50%. Week 3, down to 25%. Week 4, eliminate it completely or keep 1 cup before noon. Replace it with green tea. It has about 50 milligrams of caffeine compared to 200 in coffee. Plus, it contains L-theanine, which actually calms your nervous system. In the comments of videos about anxiety, dozens of people said the same thing. Eliminating caffeine completely stopped their panic attacks. Period. That's not a coincidence. If you're enjoying the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Strategy 3 is occupy your mind the right way. An idle brain is an anxious brain, but not all activities help equally. There are 3 types. Consuming activities like watching TV or scrolling social media, these don't help and often make anxiety worse because your mind still has bandwidth to worry in the background. Productive activities like work and chores help moderately, but flow-inducing activities, hobbies, creating things, learning new skills, these are the best for anxiety because they require enough attention that anxious thoughts literally can't run in the background. Drawing, playing an instrument, cooking a new recipe, building something, writing, these activities force your brain to focus. When I was at my worst, I started doing jigsaw puzzles. Sounds boring, but it worked because my brain was fully occupied. Find your version of that. Strategy 4, eat like your brain depends on it, because it does. Here's the cruel irony of anxiety. It kills your appetite, but not eating makes the anxiety worse. Low blood sugar causes shaking, sweating, nausea, rapid heart rate, irritability, and dizziness. Sound familiar? Those are also anxiety symptoms. So when you skip meals because you're too anxious to eat, you're actually doubling your anxiety. Here's the emergency protocol when you can't eat solid food. Drink smoothies, they're easier to consume. Eat small snacks every 2 hours instead of big meals. Focus on protein and fat combinations, like nuts, cheese, or Greek yogurt. Keep pre-portioned snacks visible so you don't have to think about it. And always pair carbohydrates with protein to prevent blood sugar crashes. Foods that help anxiety include fatty fish and walnuts for omega-3s, dark leafy greens and dark chocolate for magnesium, and yogurt for probiotics because your gut and brain are directly connected. Avoid sugar, processed foods, and alcohol. They create crashes that trigger anxiety. When I was struggling, I kept trail mix in every room. I'd eat a handful every time I walked by. It kept my blood sugar stable, which cut my baseline anxiety in half. Strategy 5, stop being a martyr and learn to delegate. Anxious people resist asking for help because of perfectionism, fear of burdening others, and need for control. But here's the reframe. Asking for help isn't weakness, it's strategy. CEOs delegate. Athletes have coaches. You're not different. Start with the 80% rule. If someone can do a task 80% as well as you, delegate it. Begin with low-stakes tasks like grocery pickup. And if you're worried about burdening people, use this script. Hey, I'm working on managing my anxiety better, and part of that means not overloading myself. Would you be able to help me with this? Most people want to help you. You're not burdening them, you're giving them an opportunity to support someone they care about. Write this down. My anxiety convinces me I'm the only one who can do things right. This is a lie. Strategy 6 is trust your future self. Start an evidence journal. Every night, write down 3 things you accomplished, however small. Did you shower? That counts. Make a phone call? Write it down. This builds concrete proof that you follow through. Review it weekly to see your pattern of reliability. Also try the future self letter. Write a letter to tomorrow's version of you, explaining today's situation and trusting them to handle it. Not finishing everything today doesn't mean failure. It means you're human and have multiple days to work with. Your anxiety tells you that you need to do everything right now because you can't trust yourself later. That's not true. You've survived 100% of your worst days. Your future self has a perfect track record of handling whatever comes. Here's how to put it all together. Week 1 is foundation. Cut caffeine by 50%, eat 3 meals plus 2 snacks daily, establish a sleep schedule, and start your brain dump journal before bed. Week 2, begin your evidence journal with 3 wins per day. Do one thing each day that makes you slightly uncomfortable. Week 3 is social exposure. Climb 2 rungs on your exposure ladder, delegate 1 task to someone, and limit social media to 30 minutes per day. Week 4, maintain everything from weeks 1 through 3, increase social exposure, and review your progress. Be realistic about what to expect. Weeks 1 and 2 might feel harder because of caffeine withdrawal and facing discomfort. Week 3, you'll start noticing small improvements. Week 4, others will comment that you seem different. Month 2 to 3 brings significant change. By month 6, you'll look back and barely recognize your old self. And remember, progress isn't linear. You'll have bad days. That doesn't mean you're back at square one, it means you're human. Here's the real truth about anxiety. It doesn't define you. It's something you experience, not something you are. The goal isn't to never feel anxious again, that's unrealistic. The goal is to not let anxiety make your decisions for you. So here's what I want you to do. Pick one strategy from this video, just one. Do it for 7 days. Then come back and tell me what changed.